Garba Shehu and other Buhari aides laid foundation for recent killings with supportive statements. The group also criticized President Muhammadu Buhari for asking the United States to reconsider relocating U.S. Africa Command (AFRICOM) from Stuttgart, Germany to Africa. The Committee for the Defense of Human Rights (CDHR) has berated the media aides to President Muhammadu Buhari for comments that seem to show tacit support for herders attacking farmers and host communities. The group also criticized President Muhammadu Buhari for asking the United States to reconsider relocating U.S. Africa Command (AFRICOM) from Stuttgart, Germany to Africa, right at the heart of the theater of operation. Buhari had, in a virtual meeting last week with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, said AFRICOM, which partners with countries to counter transnational threats, should be relocated to Africa to strengthen ongoing efforts to check the security situation, with likely effect on other nations. Reacting, National President Dr. Osagie Obayuwana said the call would be a betrayal of the labor of Nigeria's hero past, who immediately after independence in 1960 successfully fought against the Anglo-Nigerian Defense Pact. He said the request by President Buhari that the headquarters of AFRICOM be moved from Germany to Africa is nothing but an invitation of American troops to intervene in the Nigerian crisis. To the CDHR, this is an act of desperation that is not properly thought out. It portends the handing over of Nigerian sovereignty to the United States of America. At this stage of our national history, it will be a betrayal of the labor of our heroes past, who immediately after flag independence in 1960 successfully fought against the Anglo-Nigerian Defense Pact. General Murtala Muhammad, who turned in his grave in view of his well-articulated presentation at the OAU Summit in Addis Ababa in 1976, titled "Africa Has Come Age." It is bemusing how the Buhari government, on whose laps the challenge of consolidating the unity and integration of Nigeria and Africa as a whole lies, who has, in our view, woefully failed in this historical assignment. Can imagine that it is an American soldier that can come to rescue us in Nigeria. President Buhari's call gives an insight into how poorly he has defined the problem. To imagine that the sense of injustice felt by the East, West, South, and Middle Belt, as well as the poor, particularly in the North, can be wiped out by American military might, is troubling. The greatest concern of the CDHR is the thinking within the president's kitchen cabinet that Buhari can do no wrong and is all-knowing. Furthermore, that all criticism directed at the quality of his leadership are aimed at bringing his regime to an end and denying northern Nigeria of its privileges. And as such, there can never be a shifting of well-intentioned suggestions, and even the most reasonable of them are to be rebuffed. To the CDHR, it is in this that lies the root of the perversiveness of sycophancy among the president's handlers. The most rabid embodiment of this tendency, which is actually self-serving, is Malam Garba Shehu. Shehu is the senior special assistant on media and publicity to the president. The group lambasted Shehu over some of his recent comments, saying he displayed a level of sycophancy that has put serious doubt on his choice of what he perceives as defending Buhari at all costs, even when that goes contrary to common sense, decency, and the best interest of Nigeria. The statement said, clearly Garba Shehu has reached his wit's end and has passed his boundary, and the question is whether he knows what he's doing or not. His choice of blind defense of anything Buhari puts into serious questioning his sense of judgment of what is right or wrong, and thus his suitability to continue in the high office he occupies. What this really means is Garba Shehu has been in defense of Buhari either good or bad. It's always supporting evil, and most times the insecurity in the country has become so pathetic. See, hence Garba Shehu still says there is no insurgency in the north, that the Buhari-led administration has defeated Boko Haram technically. His choice of blind defense of anything Buhari puts into serious questioning his sense of judgment of what is right or wrong, and thus his suitability to continue in the high office he occupies. In view of the widespread nature of the mass killings in virtually all parts of Nigeria in the hands of Boko Haram, armed bandits, kidnappers, and armed robbers, one cannot understand the logic in the point Garba Shehu seeks to make his recent remarks that killings are not new in Nigeria, that the widespread reportage of same is aimed at discrediting the Buhari government, that anybody that criticizes Buhari and talks about the northern insecurity is an enemy of Buhari. We wonder how convincing Garba Shehu believes he is in canvassing his argument that what is happening in Nigeria under Buhari is not abnormal. This is clearly an attempt to justify a clear abdication of the primary responsibility of his principal. Perhaps this is what explains the usually delayed reaction of Mr. President to these occurrences, sometimes spanning periods of as long as 5 days after the occurrence of the event. We consider how Mr. Garba Shehu reckons that he is being of assistance to Mr. President if he cares to retain the confidence of the generality of the Nigerian people with this kind of warped logic. It is to this same Garba Shehu that credit was given also within the past few days, when he is reported to have said that killing by Fulani herdsmen would continue until governors like Samuel Otom of Benue State learn to cooperate with President Buhari. Given the context of the killing of persons of Benue State origin displaced from their homes and residing in camps, this sounds more like an insensitive threat that discounts the grievous atrocity that has been committed. It is certainly not an appeal for collaboration between office holders at all levels. There is a sense of unjustified arrogance that characterizes pronouncements from the president's media team headed by Garba Shehu, which reminds one of the foundations for this violence laid several years back before matters degenerated to this crisis level. We have not forgotten how the Benue people were callously asked to choose between keeping their lives or letting their land go. In like manner, one cannot forget in a hurry the unrighteous indignation with which Garba Shehu castigated those he accused of refusing to forgive or overlook the past vituperations of Issa Pantami after his alleged apologies. The CDHR has searched for the apology till date and cannot lay hands on same. It is clearly convenient for Garba Shehu to ignore the fact that the present crisis Nigeria is embroiled in is the manifestation in this year and now of the teachings of yesteryears by the likes of Issa Pantami, and the chickens have indeed come home to roost, and that the young men who were the recipients of those teachings, out of a sense of entitlement planted by their teachers, are those today parading as bandits and kidnappers, breathing life to those ideals under a regime that at best is indifferent. Those of them who went into security services directly or indirectly provide aid at variance with their commitment to the interest of the country. In 2018, Garba Shehu described the northern and southern elders who had expressed concern over the killings as shedding crocodile tears. One would not be surprised that he still holds the same views today. Otherwise, why would he say the killings have always been there, even before Buhari? Incidentally, Garba Shehu had consistently put his foot in his mouth. It will be recalled that he was who savagely attacked Bishop Matthew Kuka for saying that Nigeria has become a massive killing field. Garba Shehu was the one who also blamed the farmers for not getting clearance from the military before going to their farms. He was the one who also said only 10 students were kidnapped in Kankara. Garba Shehu is a bone to the flesh. and requesting for US to come to Nigeria's aid. Well, I will not say more than this. I would like you to share your comments and share your views over this reaction. Thanks for listening and God bless you.